The first episode opens with a mysterious voice encouraging someone to do what they want with their life. This sets a tone of personal freedom and introspection for the narrative. We're introduced to Leo Demonheart, a former hero who has voluntarily returned to the Demon Castle. He's nervous but determined, showing a mix of courage and vulnerability. Leo enters a room where Queen Echidna and the four generals are present. He approaches, trying to maintain his composure, knowing that this moment could determine his future. Leo introduces himself boldly, listing his skills and accomplishments, including defeating Queen Echidna. He asks to join the demon army, citing their current struggles and shortage of soldiers, hoping to find a new purpose. The demons react with shock and refusal. Leo persists, offering to help in various ways, even menial tasks, demonstrating his willingness to do whatever it takes. Leo begins to narrate his backstory. He explains how, in the previous year, Queen Echidna's army invaded the human world, and he was part of an elite team sent to stop them, showcasing his deep involvement in the conflict. He describes his exceptional skills and how he found his teammates to be a burden, eventually leaving them to defeat Echidna and her army alone. This decision reveals both his confidence and isolation. Leo recounts his victories over each of the four generals, starting with Edward, the dragon general known as the Crimson Roar. His detailed recollection emphasizes his prowess and strategic mind. He then describes his battle with Mearns, the Invisible Blade, a half-human, half-demon assassin. Their encounter was a test of stealth and precision, highlighting Leo's versatility in combat. Next, he talks about his encounter with Lily, the Fierce Claw, general of the Beastkin, which led to a comical misunderstanding. This moment adds a touch of humor to his otherwise serious tale. Finally, he recounts his battle with Shatina, the almighty sorceress, whom he defeated by sealing both their magical powers. This battle showcases his ingenuity and ability to outthink his opponents. The generals express their curiosity about how Leo defeated each of them, leading to some lighthearted banter. This interaction shows a shift from hostility to a potential camaraderie. Shatina asks Leo why he wants to join the demon army, given his history as their enemy. Her question probes into Leo's motivations, revealing the depth of his character. Leo explains that after defeating the demon army and returning to the holy city of Renaya, he was met with hostility and fear from the people he saved. This reaction from the citizens highlights the complex nature of heroism. He describes how rumors spread about him being dangerous, leading to assassination attempts. These events underline the tragic consequences of his heroic actions. Leo recounts being summoned by the king and exiled from the kingdom, despite his service. This exile adds a layer of betrayal to his already tumultuous journey. Feeling betrayed and purposeless, Leo wandered as a homeless vagabond until he overheard people talking about the demon army recruiting new soldiers. This moment of eavesdropping rekindles a sense of hope within him. Leo explains that he realized the demon army was the only place that might accept him, so he prepared and made the journey to join them. His determination to find acceptance drives him forward. Shatina acknowledges Leo's sincerity but puts him on a 1-month probationary period, warning him that Queen Echidna must not know about his presence. This probation period adds a sense of urgency and secrecy to his mission. The generals describe the various tasks needed to rebuild the demon army, revealing their own struggles and incompetencies. Their candidness about their challenges creates an atmosphere of mutual reliance. Shatina explains that if Leo succeeds in his probation, they will ask Queen Echidna to officially accept him into their ranks. This conditional acceptance sets the stage for Leo's integration into the demon army. Leo reflects on the challenges ahead in rebuilding the demon army and expresses his desire to question Echidna about her motives for avoiding unnecessary casualties during invasions. His reflections reveal his thoughtful and strategic mind. The episode ends with Leo affirming his determination to join the demon army. His resolve marks a pivotal moment in his quest for redemption. The second episode begins in a bustling demon castle, where we meet Leo, a new and enthusiastic recruit eager to prove himself. It's early morning, and Leo's ready to tackle the day head-on. Meanwhile, we're introduced to Shatina, a powerful demon mage who's part of the 4 leaders. Poor Shatina is swamped with work and struggling to keep up with all her responsibilities. Queen Echidna, the big boss, is putting pressure on everyone to rebuild the demon army quickly, and Shatina's feeling the heat. Leo offers to help Shatina by taking on the task of refilling magical furnaces. He's confident he can do it in just 2.5 hours. Shatina is skeptical of Leo's abilities and doesn't trust him fully. She's muttering to herself about not trusting anyone. We learn some backstory. The demon army is in desperate need of new soldiers and workers after a devastating attack. Most of the high-ranking officers have returned to the demon world to recover, leaving the remaining leaders, the Four, to handle all the work. Leo explains his plan to help Shatina. He's created a talisman that allows other demons to refill the magical furnaces, effectively delegating the task and reducing Shatina's workload. Queen Echidna is shown discussing Shatina's well-being with other demons, worried about her overworking herself. Leo returns, having completed the task in just 30 minutes. He's adopted a new persona, calling himself Dark Knight Onyx, to better fit in with the demon army. Dionet, a demon soldier, reports on the success of using Leo's talisman to refill the magical furnaces. Shatina is surprised and impressed by the efficiency of the new system. Leo explains in detail how he created the talisman and organized a team to handle the furnace-filling task. He emphasizes the importance of trusting subordinates and delegating work in a large organization. Shatina realizes her mistake in not trusting others and apologizes to Leo. She acknowledges his hard work and expresses gratitude for his help. In a comedic moment, Leo reminds Shatina of his earlier prediction that she'd be so grateful she'd kiss him. This results in Shatina angrily throwing him out of the room. The episode concludes with Shatina calling Leo back. She informs him about a new mission involving Lily, who has been sent on a supply run to Largo. The situation seems more serious than initially thought, setting up potential conflict for future episodes. Episode 3 opens with a description of the Sea of Largo, a beautiful tropical paradise with many unexplored islands. It's described as a place rich in flora, fauna, and valuable minerals, where ancient ruins are slowly being reclaimed by the jungle. We're introduced to Leo, who sarcastically comments about enjoying a vacation in this paradise. Instead, he's chasing after someone. The scene shifts to a conversation between Leo and Shatina. Shatina explains that Lily will be heading to the Sea of Largo on a supply mission. She reveals that the demons have a strong alliance with the inhabitants of the Largo Islands, known as Draconites. This alliance is pivotal for their strategic operations against human forces. Shatina provides background on the Draconites. They were once allied with demons but were persecuted by humans, leading them to flee to the Largo Islands. Now they live peacefully, away from human influence. Their history of persecution creates a bond of solidarity between them and the demon army. It's explained that the Draconites' support is crucial for the demon army's ability to resist human forces. Leo is tasked with helping ensure the supplies are delivered. Shatina shows Leo Lily's mission plan, which is childishly drawn and lacks detail. She explains that despite having enough soldiers, Lily is behind schedule. The lack of organization in Lily's plan highlights her inexperience and need for guidance. Leo suggests sending Edward, a Draconite, instead. Shatina refuses, saying Edward is needed to protect the castle and would likely take on all the work himself, preventing Lily from learning. This decision underscores the importance of Lily gaining practical experience and growing as a leader. The scene shifts to the Largo Islands. Leo chases after Lily, who's treating the supply delivery like a race or game. Her carefree attitude contrasts with the seriousness of the mission, adding tension to their dynamic. Leo realizes that at this rate, they won't finish the job on time. He starts to formulate a plan to teach Lily about proper task distribution and teamwork. His strategic thinking aims to turn this chaotic situation into a learning opportunity for Lily. Leo pretends to be bitten by a poisonous snake to create a situation where Lily needs to seek help and work with others. His plan is to force her into a scenario where cooperation is essential. This drastic measure shows Leo's desperation to teach her an important lesson. Lily rushes off to find medicinal herbs, encountering a series of challenges set up by Leo. Each obstacle tests her resourcefulness and determination. Her journey through these trials highlights her tenacity and adaptability. Despite Leo's expectations, Lily overcomes each challenge through sheer determination and unconventional methods, rather than seeking help as intended. Her success surprises Leo and demonstrates her independent problem-solving skills. This outcome forces Leo to reconsider his approach. Lily returns with the herbs, believing she's saved Leo. Leo, realizing his plan has failed, is amazed by Lily's perseverance. Her unwavering commitment to completing the task impresses him, despite his initial doubts. To Leo's surprise, Lily shows him a drawing of a new work plan she devised, inspired by advice from a stranger who was actually Leo in disguise. This plan incorporates better task distribution and teamwork. Leo's indirect influence on Lily's thinking proves more effective than his direct interventions. Leo realizes that he underestimated Lily. She understood the importance of teamwork. She just needed to be asked directly rather than taught through elaborate scenarios. This revelation changes his perspective on how to mentor her. The new plan is implemented, and the team finishes their work much faster. Lily expresses her understanding of the importance of teamwork. The episode concludes with Shutina informing Leo that he's been summoned by Queen Echidna, suggesting his true identity might have been discovered. This summons introduces a new layer of intrigue and potential conflict. The looming meeting with the Queen adds a sense of urgency and suspense for the next episode. The fourth episode opens with a character, likely our protagonist, engaged in combat. They describe themselves as a long-awaited savior, but note that people look at them with superstitious fear rather than joy. Despite this, they affirm their commitment to protecting people and saving the world. The scene shifts as the character wakes up, revealing the previous sequence was a nightmare. Our protagonist, who we later learn is Leo disguised as the Dark Knight Onyx, receives a summons from Queen Echidna. He's worried she might have discovered his true identity. His anxiety grows as he contemplates the potential consequences of being unmasked. Leo, as Onyx, enters Echidna's chambers. To his surprise and discomfort, she invites him to an intimate dinner and drinking session. The unexpected invitation puts him on high alert. Echidna insists that Onyx remove his helmet. In a moment of panic, he barely manages to alter his appearance enough to avoid detection. His quick thinking and use of magic save him from immediate exposure. As the drinking session continues, Leo internally strategizes how to get through this situation without revealing his identity. He decides to try and get Echidna drunk. This tactic, he hopes, will make her less observant and easier to deceive. During their conversation, Echidna reveals that her true goal is to obtain the Philosopher's Stone, which is kept in the sacred city of Renai. This revelation surprises Leo, who had assumed her intentions were purely destructive. Echidna explains that the demon world is a barren wasteland, plagued by constant conflict. She dreams of using the Philosopher's Stone to transform it into a lush, peaceful realm. Her vision paints a picture of hope and renewal. She admits that her invasion of the human world was perhaps too aggressive and that she could have pursued other methods to obtain the stone. Her reflection shows a level of regret and a desire to find a better path forward. As they continue talking, Echidna takes Onyx to a balcony to show him the beautiful sunset, contrasting it with the bleakness of the demon world. The serene view underscores the stark differences between their worlds. Echidna reveals her complex feelings about the war with humans. She expresses that she doesn't truly hate humans and even admits to not holding a grudge against Leo, the hero who thwarted her plans. Her confession reveals a surprising depth of character and a longing for peace. Echidna asks Onyx about his own motivations for joining her cause. Leo, touched by her honesty and goals, considers revealing his true identity. He grapples with the risk but feels an increasing connection to her mission. Just as Leo is about to confess, they are interrupted by urgent news. The interruption brings a sudden shift in mood, heightening the tension and suspense. The episode concludes with the revelation that two of Echidna's generals, Murns, the Shadowless General, and Edward, the Dragon General, have deserted. This betrayal introduces new conflicts and challenges for both Echidna and Leo. The fifth episode begins with its title, "If you want to leave, say so first." This sets the tone for the themes of communication and honesty that will be explored throughout the episode. We find Leo and Murns in conversation. Leo is trying to get Murns to open up about his problems, acting as a supportive, older brother figure. This demonstrates Leo's empathetic approach to helping others. Murns reveals that his age is troubling him. It's implied that he recently had a birthday, and there aren't many demons his age in the army. This highlights Murns' feelings of isolation and insecurity. The scene shifts dramatically as Leo reads a letter from Murns, stating his intention to leave. Murns feels he has failed to train the soldiers and must atone with his life. This reveals the depth of Murns' self-doubt and the extreme measures he's willing to take. Queen Echidna enters the scene, looking worse for wear. Despite her condition, she insists on helping to find Murns, showing her dedication to her generals. Leo tracks Murns using traces of his magic. He reflects on how Murns and Edward seem to be doing well, but were actually hiding their problems. Leo catches up with Murns and confronts him about his letter. He emphasizes how crucial Murns is to the demon army, showing Leo's understanding of the bigger picture. In a pivotal moment, Leo tells Murns that if he truly wants to leave, he won't stop him. However, he advises Murns to think carefully about whether he'll regret his decision. This shows Leo's respect for individual choice while still offering guidance. Murns finally opens up about his real problem. He's nervous about conducting interviews in 3 days. He feels he lacks the necessary communication skills. This reveals that Murns' initial desire to leave was a drastic reaction to a manageable problem. Leo decides to help Mearns improve his communication skills. They go undercover in the castle's dining hall, with Mearns disguised as a waitress. Leo explains that this practical experience will help Mearns learn to interact with others. We see Mearns struggling with customer service, particularly with smiling. Leo coaches him, emphasizing the importance of facial expressions in communication. This shows the step-by-step process of learning social skills. A group of rowdy werewolf mercenaries causes trouble in the dining hall. Mearns handles the situation calmly at first, trying to take their order professionally. When they become aggressive, he efficiently subdues them, demonstrating a balance of communication skills and strength. After their shift, Leo praises Mearns for his handling of the situation. Mearns is surprised to hear he did well, showing his lack of confidence in his abilities. For further practice, Leo suggests a role-play interview where Mearns can ask him anything. This sets up the final scene of the episode. In a surprising turn, Mearns asks Leo a pointed question about his true motives for joining the demon army. He references a previous statement Leo made about wanting to destroy humanity. This cliffhanger ending adds tension and raises questions about Leo's true intentions. The protagonist contemplates why he suddenly decided to share his story. He initially intended to give an interview to Mearns as a joke, simply to reinforce what they've learned and practice communication skills. However, he finds himself unexpectedly drawn into a more serious conversation. Mearns confronts the protagonist, asking if his claim about wanting to destroy humanity was a lie. The protagonist is surprised by Mearns' perceptiveness, noting that he expected such a question from Shutina instead. Mearns' sharp insight indicates his deep curiosity and concern. The protagonist attempts to deflect by praising Mearns' communication skills and offering a humorous reward. Mearns, however, persists in his questioning. His determination reveals his desire to understand the protagonist's true intentions. Mearns asks why the protagonist hasn't already exterminated humans if that was his goal. He points out that the protagonist was betrayed by the very people he protected. The conversation shifts as Mearns reveals he's seen glimpses of the protagonist's past. He recounts that the protagonist is half human, half demon, and was sold into slavery by his parents due to superstition. This revelation adds depth to the protagonist's backstory and personal struggles. Mearns shares his own backstory, explaining how he joined the demon army out of a desire to see humanity destroyed. However, he soon realized the demons weren't evil as he had initially thought. His change in perspective illustrates his growth and evolving understanding. The scene transitions to a flashback of the demon army's conquest. Surprisingly, they're shown distributing food to humans and celebrating with them, contrary to Mearns' expectations of violence. This moment contrasts sharply with Mearns' previous beliefs about the demon army's nature. Back in the present, Mearns recalls asking the protagonist why he joined the demon army. The protagonist gives a vague answer, leaving Mearns unsatisfied. Mearns' frustration underscores his quest for genuine understanding. Mearns presses further, sensing there's more to the protagonist's story. He insists on hearing the truth. His insistence reflects his commitment to uncovering the full story. The protagonist begins to reveal his true history. He describes a world from long ago, with advanced technology and no magic, where demons suddenly appeared through a portal in Tokyo. This historical context provides a backdrop for understanding his complex past. He explains how he was created as part of a series of living weapons called Demon Heart to combat the demon threat. He was designed to protect humanity and save the human world. This detail adds a layer of purpose to his actions and motivations. The protagonist continues his story, describing how he outlived the other Demon Heart warriors and continued fighting for humanity across centuries, even as the world changed from technological to magical. His longevity and persistence highlight his dedication and resilience. He reveals that when humans recently rejected him, he felt happy rather than sad. It gave him the freedom to stop being a hero and start a new life. This shift in emotion shows a significant change in his outlook and desires. Mearns struggles to understand the protagonist's story, especially the vast timescale involved. The protagonist explains that he's over 1,000 years old. Mearns' confusion reflects the enormity of the protagonist's experience and lifespan. The protagonist concludes by saying he joined the demon army not to destroy humanity, but because he genuinely likes Echidna and the other demons. He wants to help them achieve their goals. This declaration reveals his true allegiance and personal connections. The episode ends with the protagonist reflecting on Mearns' potential as a mediator, hinting at future developments in their relationship and roles within the demon army. This conclusion sets the stage for evolving dynamics and deeper interactions between the characters.